Hello everybody, and welcome back to Chapter 3. We're going to be getting out our meat sector, and we're going to be finalizing the design. There's quite a bit to do, so let's get started. Now, one of the first things we need to do is start upgrading every single one of these houses with an animal pen. We're going to need a substantial amount of boards. Now, we're also using a lot of boards for bow production and other things, so I think we're actually going to get a third saw pit up. We're going to need more timber. We're going to have to deforest quite a bit to do so. But that's alright. Let's get ourselves a saw pit right there. And let's look at places we can put additional logging camps. So we have a few logging camps over here. And I think actually what we're going to do is we're just going to increase the work and families up to 6 in this area. Let's put a person in the forester immediately because this is going to hurt. But you know what? In the long run, it's going to be glorious. So let's keep going. And over here, we started our woodcutter's lodge not too long ago. So let's place an individual in there. Let's actually set a work limit area. And let's do it right there. Let's make sure that this large storehouse has a person coming into it. And is only set for firewood. Perfect. So we have 23 available living facilities. We have not upgraded everything to tier 3, which we are going to do in this video. So we're going to have quite a substantial population. Everything is very, very good right now, so this is awesome. They're moving around like ants. It's beautiful. We also need to be a little concerned right now because the Lord will attack us pretty darn soon. And luckily, we were able to build a sizable army up. He's going to have one hell of a time. So let's make sure that we have a full retinue. And let's also start upgrading just a tad bit. I like to keep around, 350-ish. Make sure I can hire a couple mercenaries, so we're just going to do 2 right now. And we want to maintain a 75% or higher approval rating so we can get 2 families per month moving in. We are, of course, a little strapped on cash, so we are crafting bows once more for trade. That is consuming quite a bit of the boards. Let's order 1 more ox. The large storehouse could definitely use more people. So right now, we're just going to pump all that up. Pop up here to check the marketplace. It does look like we're going to need to add a couple more granaries. Granary workers. And we're primarily using these folks over here for that. So let's pop in 2 more. And then we're just going to speed the game up here momentarily. Let's look. So they have taken every region, which means the attack is imminent. They will be attacking here very shortly. The village is strong, and I think we're going to defeat anything that comes at us. Oh no. I forgot about the taxes. Yes, the taxes are coming in. We're going to need to probably tax our people a little bit more. We're at 82%. I need to get that happiness rating up so I can tax them more and maintain 75%. I'm really liking the logistics of this build, I'm not going to lie. It's very clean. You can see everyone moving around. It's just really well organized. I'm actually kind of surprised. I wasn't sure how well this was going to do, but it's doing very proper. We're going to bump up the taxes here to 6%. Let's maybe do 7%. Yeah, 7%, -4. Perfect. We need just a little bit more money flowing in. Now let's take a peek at the trade post. See what's going on here. Yes, the boards are kind of hurting our economy. We're not pulling in enough boards to keep up with the mass production to get the sales that we need. So I think what I'm going to do is just momentarily. I was thinking about pulling some people back out of farming. That's not going to work because we're about to go into... Take a peek. Yeah, June. Oh, no, we're good. We can pull some people out. Alright, we're going to pull a whole farmhouse out. Actually, there we go. Yeah, we're going to pull some people. I'll get 2 people building. We'll boot that down to 4. We have enough. I think we actually have enough farmers to take care of everything. We'll come back up there and remedy that situation here in a bit. But we need to get everybody going. Alright, so the bloomery is going strong. Probably don't even need that person. Let's get this saw pit up. There we go. And remember, I always assign a permanent ox to the saw pits. Just makes it go a lot faster. There we go. Now everybody's happy again. Get that person in the saw pit. Permanently assign an ox. This sector down here is doing very well. Pretty awesome seeing the skyline. All the things in the back. Oh, the brewer is full. Means we may need to get another granary worker up here. Let's do it. Pop one more in. Two families up there helping to move stuff. That one doesn't hold booze, though. So, that's right. We made it so nobody held booze. That way it's all just going into a large tavern. I'm okay with that. Both of these gents are full. Let's increase the overstock on this to 20. So, the demand right now is 83. So, you can just cheese it by saying overstock on both. Looks like this is the primary one. So it's always full, but we're just going to tell them to fill these things to the brim. So there's always 100 in there. This is kind of a danger of the system we're using because if I want to sell ale, I am going to have to store it somewhere. So this is a hard decision. But we are going to be producing like 400 ale, and I do want to sell it. So I'm going to turn ale back as a storable item in that large granary up here. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, we're back to our 100s. It looks like we're waiting on more shoes to be made. And let's go make sure. I remember at the beginning of the episode, I did put a pretty sizable limit. 140. Perfect. Put that to 150. Now we only need 100. And it looks like this place doesn't have anything coming in. And we'll get 8 meat per burgage plot per year. We'll get 4 meat every 150 days. If you round it, it's actually kind of like 8.33 or whatever. You're going to have 1 year where you get 9. It's kind of weird the way that they did the calendar in this game. All right, we really got that board production going now. This is beautiful. Look at that. I don't even want to look at the forest. I'm pretty sure we've probably clear-cut the entire forest now. There we go. That's that side, all with pens. Now we're going to do this side. And we have 93 planks. That's beautiful. Our economy is going to start flourishing once more. And unfortunately, we didn't get a backyard extension on this one. That's okay. We'll just skip it. All right. Yeah, look at those beautiful apple fields, man. Those are going to be pulling in so many apples. Going to be crazy. Okay. So here we go. We're going to bring in all the babes. Get them pigs in. Now this is going to be a little expensive. It's 20 a pop. So we'll go line by line. Make sure everybody's happy here. Alright, second row done. We definitely want to start upgrading all of our houses next. Dang, we got 6 free families right now. And it looks like this house is almost done. Here we go. Order the babe. Alright, so this whole row down here all has pigs in it. That's pretty crazy. We're a little out of money, so we'll wait till we build up a little bit more wealth. Do the other side. That... You have no idea how much meat this is. This is absurd. We should definitely try to get salt or import salt from like a region like down here. Because it's just... the amount of sausage that we could produce is pretty substantial. But yeah, it's very, very silly. We don't need sausage, though. That's the thing. This whole build is very broken. Alright, I'm going to put one person into the church to bury the dead. Brewer's looking very good down there. So we got 2 breweries now. We got one there and one there. Making large quantities of alcohol. Let's check it out. Pantry size of 50-50. Very good. Now, are we having any issues? It says 40. We do not want to store alcohol in the pantry, though, because like I told you, spoilage is very, very high in the pantries. That's like one bad thing about a setup like this. Granaries are preferred, but they're very glitchy right now, which is why people don't like to use it. Alright, 231 eggs. Alright, we got 1 apple over there. We got veggies, apples here. We got 1 dude collecting meat. What's cool about meat... So eggs have to be collected every month, right? That's kind of the downfall to eggs. But meat is every 150 days, so it's like... like halfway through the year, you got to collect an insane amount of meat. But we have our granary of equal distance to everything except for maybe these gents over here. So this is a pretty good setup. They should be able to do this pretty fluidly. We're going to want another family in here. And we're going to want at least, 2 families doing eggs. So 2 families, I think, is going to be more than enough for all of this. And we're probably going to want to get a few more market stalls. Yes, granary capacity is there. Let's do 1 here and 1 here. And that's all she wrote. And then let's do 1 more up here. to help with all the movement of these crops and everything up here. And let's put those families back in. I'm going to keep 2 unassigned families to help guide ox and all that kind of jazz. We're doing pretty darn good. And I believe the Lord is going to attack us here really, really soon. I could feel it in my bones. All right, yeah, we cleaned out quite a bit over here. Cleaned out quite a bit over here, but we're actually doing very well still. And yeah, with everything that we've done, it's going to be bringing in quite a bit of meat. So our next goal is either charcoal. We may not need to do charcoal, though. It does seem like we found an equilibrium here where we're able to bring in enough firewood. And you can see people are coming up here to get firewood, which is an inefficiency in the design, but we're going to allow it. It's only one person that has to do it. It's a little annoying, but sometimes you just have to accept those things. All right, we're going to boot that back out to 4. Okay, so we got a good thing going here. We have a bunch of available living spaces, and now it's time to go crazy. So we're going to start upgrading everybody we can. And honestly, we should actually start with the furthest houses first. The tier 3s and all that, just simply because it gets harder to do those. So let's start with the bottom rung of society over here. And we'll do this whole area over here. Alright, and we're just out of money now. That's tier 3. Okay, so big old chunk of houses to tier... Yeah, it's a lot of wood. 2 wood, 8 boards. So you're going to need quite an impressive wood empire. That's what's cool about building and expanding is you can just, you know, have a bunch of saw pits and then get rid of them when you're done. Our economy is mostly bow and arrow right now. Or just the bows, I should say. War bows. We're not selling anything else. Okay. We're going to boot this down to 30. Since we're... Actually, no. Let's boot this down to 20 since we're not even using them. And shoes, we're at 126. That's beautiful. We could, in theory, start selling shoes. But problems do arise when you do that. You don't have enough leather coming in, which I don't think that we do. So we have 100 iron slabs, which is our quota. We have 1,135 firewood. Very, very good. We have 0 leather that we can trade. Let me kind of see what's going on here. Veggies, anything over 450. Bread, yeah, look, ooh, look at that. We are banging. Look at that. A lot of food. All right. So we got 2 families here. We need, I think, 4 families for this to work appropriately. And our fish quota at 530. I think you can actually bring this down to about 450. And you're going to be good because you're not going to be able to fish everything in the 3 seasons that it grows. So we're going to bring that down to 4. We can get a little bit more fish. Right, we're in good shape. Got a lot of chickens over here. And yep. So now we're... Oop! We got all the babes. Forgot all about the babes. So right now, regional wealth is kind of what's holding us back in a lot of ways. So let's just upgrade these houses for that passive wealth. Every single house we upgrade is, you know, 1 silver per month. It's quite a bit. Adds up. We have 636 barley, which is insane. I feel like alcohol is definitely going to be the next thing that we start selling. And we're going to sell anything over 200. I'll need to buy a trade route for this, but I have a feeling that we're going to be producing quite a bit. Let's look at the malt house. The malt house is doing great. We're going to pump that up to 2 folk. I think that this granary needs more people. Almost want to pull the market stall setup out of it. 375 barley with a very large... And we may need another malt house to keep up with everything. Never needed more than like 1 usually, but... the question is, where do you put it? Oh, here we go, right in between all this jazz. Perfect. Alright, we'll get another malt house up over there. Beautiful. Alright, bunch of money. Let's get our babes up first. Get this up to tier 3 over there. Very good. Very important to get these farms upgraded so their pantries are large enough to hold everything being farmed. Almost got all the piggies in here. Alright, we're just out of boards once more, but we have got it going on. We got all the piggies now. I don't even want to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god. So it's about 42 burgages plus 2 more. So 44 burgage plots times 8. About 352 meat per year right there. And it's going to come in every 6 months. It's actually got to be more than that. Yeah, no, that's about right. About right. Actually, one of these doesn't have it. So, yeah, give or take around 350 meat. Which, a sheep setup is actually a little bit better than this. So, that's actually kind of funny. Alright, we got the point. We're going to go into honey next. We're going to have a bunch of people. So, honey, I think... we're going to get rid of the corpse pit. There's a few places we could put the honey. Now, honey is going to work completely different when the patch is out. But the key to honey is making sure that you're getting completed honey out so that the other combs can spawn. Because they can't spawn when there's completed honey. So the key is just being able to move the goods out as fast as possible. So we're going to pause real quick. Alright, we got a granary right here. And this is going to be the hallmark of the build. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but we should try our best to make it efficient. There we go. Alright, we're getting close. Yes, everything is starting to really build up now. Let's get ourselves another malt house going. Fuel stockpile for sure. Not going to put any kind of cap whatsoever. Just want to make sure that these brewers are going strong. I'm going to upgrade the brewers to tier 3. Just get more families in there. Okay. Let's keep upgrading everybody to tier 2. Get that like I said, the passive money is what's going to help us out here the most. We're not paying our taxes right now. We're in a bulk up stage, so to speak. Alright, let's see what the problem is here. Timber is the main issue. Just need to let them catch up. There's so much wood out here, though. We're going to be fine. I think we're actually going to get some woodcutters out over here. More areas going. And most importantly, what we need to do is make sure that the road system connected. Okay, cool. I think we're going to make our own little connection right here. There we go. Make it a little bit faster to get across. Upgrade this granary. Some of these I'm upgrading to level 3 just because I can. There we go. Got more families in the brewer. Very good. Got 452 barley, so I think the main issue right now is processing time. So let's boot this windmill up to 3 folk in it. Get that thing pumping. I think the bread makers, get 2 of them going. Malt house is doing strong. Let's get 2 people in the small house as well. Get it really strong. Yeah, might as well bump this all out. Alright, we're getting real close to 100%. And once you have all your burgage plots, this is where it really shines. So we have 95 of 100 occupied. So only 5 more will be occupied, putting a strain on our market. So yeah, we're going to be able to easily handle all of this. We're at perfect capacity for storehouses. Fairly sure. Like I said, yeah, I did the math. Everything should be fine here. Got an immense amount of resources, and why are they putting... I'll let them do that. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna pull back these gents over here to 1 and 1. Let this grow out a bit. We're gonna speed these guys up over here, and I'm gonna carpet clean this area next. Okay, so we're gonna need kind of a hub for everything, and I think this is probably the best place to put more of the stuff. I don't want them to be too far out. We're gonna need quite a bit of ox for what we got going on. Pretty big operation. This will be our little crossroad area here. It's beautiful. Yeah, you can see that we're probably gonna need more fishing spots, because it's just like the berries. You have to Get as many of the fish as possible in the growing season, and if the pantry gets full, you'll have issues. I think we can get 6 families on this thing now. One hunter seems to be doing a great job. Alright, let's continue to at least get level 2 plots. Just really want to get that money. Passive wealth becomes very, very important, as you can see. Okay, we're getting close to being able to sell alcohol. I'm going to establish that trade route. It's a bit of a jaunt for them to move it, but not great. It'll be okay, though. Alright, we got a lot of flour. So we're going to need to pump up a lot of stuff here. They're just not moving things fast enough. Okay, we got to do this. We got to turn off the market stalls here and have them primarily just all focus on moving stuff. I might even have to get another granary up, because this is actually kind of crazy. And we have enough market stalls here. Let's pump that up to 6. Yeah, we're still at 100. Let's just watch this and see if we have any issues, but I think we'll be okay. More houses to tier 2. Oh yes, look at that. Look at them go. So we got a late start on that one field. It's weird. We got lots of barley. It seems like the malt's having a little bit of an issue. I'm hoping now that this entire granary is just focused on logistics, that this is going to help out. I believe we're actually going to get another malt house up. Yeah. Alright, in the ovens, we're going to place 2 more families working there. That up a bit. I think the windmill's going strong. Yeah, that's beautiful. We're going through all the wheat. We could probably bust that down to 2 families. Looks like we're doing really well there. Beautiful, 220 alcohol. Yeah, alcohol is not a problem in this place. Alright, and then this is just going to be purely honey. And it is not going to have any market stalls. We just want them fully focused on honey. So many houses to upgrade. Let's just make sure everything is at least tier 2. Alright. Time to get these camps up. Get 2 people in each of these camps over here, cutting wood. I'm actually going to pull out of here completely, because it's just not efficient anymore. We'll just keep going to the areas where there's lots of wood. I'm going to put 6 people in total over here. Same thing over here. Just it becomes inefficient after a bit. Let's put 4 people in here. Got 2 horses. Very good. We got alcohol. We got bows. Let's expand the living space in the Boyer workshop. Let's get 2 families making bows. Alright. And we've got some banditos coming in from the south. Banditos are never a problem. Yes, we are definitely ready for them. Got quite the army here. So we're going to make mincemeat out of these gents and then get back to it. They're coming straight at us. Here they come. Oof, there we go. There we go. Melting time. Yeah, volley 2. There we are. Ugh, that's nasty. We're gonna need a couple corpse pits. I think you get a sizable negative whenever they attack. Nice, look at that. 4 available living places. We're gonna have to start doing some level 3s. Get some more people in here. Alright, now we can push. Yeah, they don't stand a chance. Let's speed this up. Let's get these guys all dead. There we go. Beautiful day for us. Alright, let's run these dudes to the center and disband them. The city is coming along very nicely, though. Got 7 free families. We're going to have about, yeah, almost twice as many families here in a second once we start doing tier 3s. But I just want to get the passive money coming in as fast as possible so we can pay our taxes. Alright, that one's going to be level 3. Got a level 1 house up here. Very good. Got a few more houses people need to move into. Okay, let's put 2 in the malt house. Fuel stockpile 10. There we go. Beautiful day. There we go. You can see the malt's flowing now. Ooh, the malt's actually doing too well now. Great. Alright, so I'm going to bust all these malt houses down to 1. Yeah, 59 malt. That's crazy. You just can't win. 242 ale. My best bet actually may be to come to the trade post here. Let's look at what we're doing here. I don't realistically need 240. Let's bump this down to 160 ale so that we're selling more of our excess. I always do 1 trade post because the trade post system is really buggy and how it works, but I may have to think about this because having a trade post a little bit closer to the ale production would be superbly advantageous. So I'm gonna get rid of the circle and we're gonna do a half circle. So now we have this big area here. There we go. Yeah, one advantage to having another trade post is you can get a lot more done. So let's try it out. Let's see if we can remedy our situation with another trade post. Beautiful. In all my testing, 1 trade post almost always overproduces. But the problem is you need all the things that you're selling to be stored right next to it so they can move it in almost immediately. This is just too far away. We're going to order another horse now so that we have it up here. And we're also going to place some hitching posts around this area. Now the reason I bump my trade post out is because if you get too close to these walls, the trade caravans can get stuck. So you want to give yourself a good girth on these. Alright, we're at 100% except for fuel and clothing. That's fine. May need another... something weird is going on here. You know what? Let's see. I am going to turn the market stall for that guy on, just to have it. Alright, 95 malt, 482 barley. This is actually pretty intense. Fish are coming in, apples are coming in. Okay, yeah. We're going to want multiple trade. Let's see if we can get away with it. Let's see if we can finally figure out how to use multiple trade posts effectively. Alright, boom, boom, boom. 4 families. Pump that up. And now we're in a massive food surplus, which was, you know, by design. Meat's starting to pull in pretty crazy numbers. Apples. We will export anything over 500. We will buy that trade route. You need to buy these trade routes so our people will go out with their horses. Well, that's good. Bread, same thing. We're going to be mass producing bread at pretty insane scales. I'd say 400, anything over 400, since we're constantly producing it. Okay, we'll leave everything else alone for now. Let's see if we can start making some cash here. So the reason that you don't want to split your trade posts is the way that outside foreign buyers work is they will come in and they will buy from 1 trade post. So if I say I have 42 apples and I have 8 apples at the other trade post, if they go to that other trade post, they only buy the 8 apples. So by condensing it all into 1 trade post, you're basically ensuring that every foreign trader is going and buying the maximum of that amount. However, if you cannot hold the maximum amount in your trade post because you have logistical issues, that kind of goes out the window. But you can see up here, like, we have 5 war bows, right? So this is the problem with the trade post. And all they need to do is set it up like the granary, where you can specify which trade post holds which goods. It would completely solve all the issues and they wouldn't have to rework any pathfinding. If we could just control which trade posts were selling which goods, that's the issue, is that it splits everything up, which reduces the quantity that you're selling over time. But what you have are your people who go out and trade things, but you need like 10 or 12 to equal the foreign traders. You would need an insane amount of trade posts in order to get the same kind of sales that you're getting with one. But the problem we're having is that the distance to transport things is just too vast. So, but we'll try it out, right? We'll try it out. I'm selling more, so arguably I'm going to be making more money. I probably should have just tried selling everything out of one trade post and then done this to test it a little bit better. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, order a horse. Bump that up to a stable. Damn, that granary is getting mighty full. This is a park area. I could always put more granaries there. Check the houses to make sure there isn't meat in the pantries. I think we're in good shape. Oh, we have no more available living spaces. Alright, so we need to start getting all the living spaces possible. We need more people. I don't know why we need more people, but just an unhealthy desire at this point. Okay, and we got our extra point. So we got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have one more point. So we could go in the sheep breeding. I don't want to do that right now. I'm going to hold off because I think coal might be the future for us. We're also going to sell honey. And we're going to do about 12 apiaries at a minimum. We got 6, 7, 8, 11 there. We'll do 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's 17 families. It's one of the worst yields, but like it's pretty sweet. No pun intended. It's when you have the people for it, it's a really good thing to trade because it has barely any it has no spoilage. Zero, like that's next to sausage. It's like no spoilage. As long as it's stored in the granary. Very, very, very small amount. Okay, I'm gonna just have to hope this granary can hold everything, and I don't think it can. So that's fun. I have no idea why pelts and hides are being stored here. Are we importing? Oh, we're importing, that's right. So we always have 10. Yeah, I've been importing hides. We're gonna turn that off. We don't need to do that anymore. But yeah, this honey thing is gonna take a lot of people. So a lot of guides tell you not to do these kind of things because the fact of the matter is the smaller the town, the more economically viable it is, right? If I have less people and I'm producing the same amount of veggies and apples, it means I can sell insanely more veggies and apples and I can make a lot more money. And the more money I'm making, the more tax I'm generating over here. So like large cities are actually like really hard to manage because there's substantial diminishing returns on size. So typically if you have a large city, you want to offset it with a small trade city to make up for all that inefficiency. And because you need more resources, which means you're not selling those resources for money essentially. So kind of sucks. But that's just the way it is. I can't wait to see what they do with the next patches and how they change the game because I'm sure they're going to make it a lot better than it is right now. But yeah, we're pulling in money. That's all that matters. We got a couple tier 1s over here. Once we get all these guys to tier 3, we're going to get more passive wealth too. Tier 3s generate 1 more additional coin per family, which is pretty substantial. Yeah, boards are going to hold us back. And we're starting to carpet clean this area over here, which is beautiful. I think what we're going to actually end up doing, putting 2 more logging camps out here to hold all the wood so they don't have to travel all the way over. I think we're going to craft a road like such. Give another route that people can take. There we go. Beautiful. And it looks like we're going to need 2 more families in the fisherman hut. I'm just trying to keep up with food of all types. You can see that we're doing quite a good job. And we have enough meat coming in to help out. What the heck? I missed a piggy. That's what happens sometimes. All right, let's keep getting these guys to tier 3. Let's keep more families, right? We need more families. We're going to do the edges first. That house actually looks kind of cool. Alright, we're pulling in the cash now. We're going to be able to pay our taxes. And use the only decoration that I have. Make this place look a little nicer, right? One shrine. One or two shrines. There we go. The holy honey. I'm hoping they incorporate mead at some point. Mead would be awesome. And they are getting so much done. The city is really coming along. It's looking pretty awesome. I like the way it rolls over the hills. Very nice. Alright, tier 3 it is. The fuel situation is becoming... yeah, pretty bad. We're definitely going to go into charcoal. We need to. Otherwise, we're going to have issues. And we're going to come over here. We can also sell charcoal. Very good trade item. So we're going to start selling charcoal as well. And I'll get charcoal production down around these parts. Let's get it close to this area right here. Perfect. Okay. We'll have charcoal production right next to our woodcutters area. Trifecta, and then the trade post right there. So we're just going to preemptively start setting this up. Charcoal is a really, probably one of the best trade items in the game. And anything over 100, we are going to sell them. I'm going to buy the route immediately. Man, it looks like we're having an alcohol problem. What's going on? 63, 65. Alright, we need to get a couple more families in here moving the booze in. Looks like. Yeah, overstock won't work anymore because we're at 100 plots perfectly. This is why you want to upgrade your furthest points first, because you start getting issues. So if we do upgrade, we're going to want to do these houses on the edge first. Alright, we're going to turn the overstock mechanic off. It might be screwing things up now. I'm also going to put 3 families in here. We just need to keep the hooch coming in as fast as possible. Okay, and we need to make sure to upgrade these guys first, in case we have some issues. Alright, bunch of tier 3 houses incoming. A lot of new families coming in. It's going to mess with our food consumption, but that's okay. We're doing really well. All that matters is the money's coming in. Okay. Get one family over there. One family over there. Tier 3. There we go. We're doing it. Interestingly enough, we have the wood, but the people aren't working. So I guess that could be the advantage to having 2 families in there. Alright. Charcoal production has begun. Upgrade this well just for shits and giggles. Alright, this place is clean. We're still doing a good job. We still got lots of wood over here. They have quite a distance to go, those ox, though. That's the problem. But quite a few. We'll order one more. I'm going to upgrade a few of these stables, because we are trying to conserve the boards. There we go. Look at that. We got the board production going. We're beautiful people now. Alright, we're back to 100%. Adding more families is just going to help us keep that booze coming in. Perfect. Okay. We're back on track. We're going to need probably about 20 families for the honey. What's cool about honey, and every time you add a new food, so the way that the food mechanics work in this game is they consume everything equally from the granary. I have a whole guide on this. I'm just going to simplify it for you. But say the demand is 100, it's going to split it between every single food type you have. That's consumption. So remember that the consumption mechanics are not the same as the supply and demand. The supply and demand is just basically having the goods available gives you a bonus and allows you to upgrade your houses. But consumption is a completely different thing. Again, check my channel out for guides on this. I have, it's a little complicated and I have like 10-minute guides on this. But essentially what I'm getting at is that every time we can add a food, it's going to lessen the consumption of other food items, making it easier for us to have excess of each food. So you can see I have look how many eggs I have. Look how much meat I have. Veggies, bread. Apples is at 1,000. Apples are stupid easy. And look, you know, you watch a lot of people who do this stuff, and it's like they have 40 burgage plots of apples. You don't need that many. These things are highly, highly effective when you do them correctly. So it's pretty sweet. You don't need as much of this stuff as you think. But that's why they're probably... Veggies and apples are just OP. They're just super OP. Eggs are not as bad as people make them out to be. Eggs are pretty good too. Their eggs are better than meat. The real reason that you do meat is to make sausage, because the spoilage on meat is really bad. We're just doing it because we can. It's an exercise in excess right here. So it's pretty sweet. All right, we have 8 available living spaces, so we'll need to keep an eye on that. I got the smithy over here. Yeah, we're just checking everybody out right now. Looks like fuel is pretty darn bad. Let me go to the trade post real quick, because I have a feeling I may have overestimated my ability. Let's bump this up to 300. We wanted a lot of coal. Okay. All right, so we got 3 people there. What do we got up here? 1 person. All right, 3 people up here. Need to get a forester up here ASAP. Do that. And down here, let's see what's going on. We are definitely keeping up. This one forester is definitely keeping up with what's being cut. This forester down here, however, is a jerk. Let's bump that up to 2 families. All right, we got the money. Money's rolling, and it seems like the 2 trade posts are doing a decent enough job. We just are trying to sell way too many things. I do think we could actually make more money with 1 trade post, but I think that this is actually doing just fine. Got more families moving goods, and we're selling way too many items. Let's see. 643 barley, 600 wheat. How much malt do we have? 36. Okay. So we have 3 malt houses. Pretty good. We're going to turn this middle one to 2 families and just leave it there. I think that's a perfectly good number. And the 1 windmill will definitely do the job. Let's just get 3 families in there just to make sure we're not missing anything. Pantry seems to be stabilizing now. That's beautiful. The taverns are keeping pretty much at 100%. It's fluctuating between 98 and 100, which is really good. Like I said, let's just make sure that we get the important edging areas up to tier 3 first in case we have any issues. Oh yeah, look at that. We're also importing clay to make tiles, so it's good to build these as soon as you can so that you can continue to produce everything in the background. Perfect. Running out of boards again. And we do have the capacity to start a different kind of craft. Well, that's interesting. Says we don't have enough food stalls there. I think we're missing just 1 food stall. Okay. We got 6 out of 6 there. Got 5 out of 6 here. Beautiful. Alright, yeah, let's just do 2 more there. We're in good shape. Got all the eggs. Got all the meat. Let's just check the pantries real quick. I'm going to check and see if you can see meat in any pantries. 1 meat. Okay, yeah, they're on that. The two families are moving the meats really effectively. We get free families. We can always add another family to the granary there for redundancy. Alright, 100% on food, fuel and clothing. For some reason this thing hates me or something. Oof, look at that. We got tier 1s in here? Ugly. Alright, let's get the forester up. Okay. Fuel is popping back up. Says we have 10 months worth of food, which is like kind of insane. But that's alright. It's actually really crazy. Alright, level 2 on that house down there finally. Almost everything is level 2 now. We just need to keep going a little bit. Level 2s, level 2s. Alright, this is looking fantastic. Beautiful, look at that. We got almost all the... Oh, no, that's it. Yeah, that's all the corners right there. It's wonderful. Okay, we got 15 families. So let's start the craziness of the honey. We're going to start small. We're just going to put 1 family in. And we're just going to do the top deck. You only need 1 family. And remember, they're going to completely rework this when the new patch comes out. So if you're watching this in 3 to 4 months, you're going to have to watch something else that I've done to get a better handle on this. Okay. All right. We're going to hold off on this row down here. So all of these have a person in them. So this is what I'm talking about. So you see the honeycomb transition, right? So if there's honey in here, no more honeycombs can be generated. 2 is the max anyway. So you need your granary worker to remove that honey as fast as possible so that more honeycombs are produced. Now you can only transition 2 honey a day. So a honeycomb can become a honey twice in a day. But look how fast days go, right? March 1st. March 2nd. So every one of those ticks is a maximum of 2. So the better your logistics here, the more honey you're going to produce. So you just need the family to be able to get where he's going quickly. So not having a stall and having it centralized like this produces insane quantities of honey. It also has very low spoilage. You can see we already have 13 honey. So having very low spoilage means it's going to stack better than others. A lot of these apples and breads and all this stuff it's going to spoil in small quantities every month. Even with a large granary, you still have spoilage. But what's cool, we're going to produce an enormous amount of honey now. Alright, we got 2 more families. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go the distance here. Got 4 more places for people to move in. I'm going to just get it all up and running so we don't have to think about it. There we go. Maximum honey. Beautiful. Whew. We got all these houses to upgrade. Let's take a peek. So the corners are now officially fully upgraded. So now we get to work on the inner core. And I think something's broken because the Lord has not attacked me. I guess he's afraid of me. But this is looking sharp. They can't keep up with fuel and clothing. It does look like we actually need 1 more storehouse worker. And that's very perplexing to me. There must be a 3rd good getting in the mix, but I only have the 2. Ah, I forgot about shoes. It's 3. Sorry, it's by 3. Ugh. So stupid. Yeah, my bad. I forgot we have 3 goods that we have to have per burgage plots. We have 100 burgage plots. Times 3 goods. Divided by 20. We need 15 market stalls. And I have 12, so I need 3 more market stalls. My bad. So 3 more market stalls. We did 1 up here, so doot. That will get us where we need to be. Very good. I'm going to pull 4 families out of this side farmhouse. We just need to get this going. I think we're in good shape now. Perfect. Always forget about them boots. Okay. We're getting all these guys to tier 3 now. Alright. And our granaries are doing pretty darn decent at hoarding everything. Let's see where we're at now. Yeah, we're getting close to that 100s again. Got 7 out of the 4 food types. It's beautiful. Looks like we just need a little bit of leather, and we're in good shape. That will be naturally produced over time from just wild animals. Yeah, look how many ox we got moving around. It's pretty crazy. Got a chain of them going. Alright. Yeah, we're running low on planks. But once we get all caught up here and everything's upgraded, then the economy is going to take off even more. And we're actually doing pretty darn well. It seems like the 2 trade post system isn't doing too bad. I probably wouldn't go any more than that, though. Now let's check the pantries over here. Make sure no eggs are... The 1 egg. Gotta remember, the spoilage in pantries is pretty substantial. You gotta be very careful. Got 1 more egg over there. Okay, let's get 3 families in the granary here. That extra family should suffice. And let's get 1 more family in the large granary here to help with honey. Just don't want to see any... Yeah, because they got the honey. They're really quick. I think two is actually like quite a bit of families. There's a lot of honey. But we're going to be producing honey at pretty insane levels now. It's going to start stacking up. Our food situation's really decent. Fuel is leaves a little bit to be desired. Go check that out. Let's go see what the problem is. Now every firewood is basically split into 2 coal, so it effectively doubles your fuel. We have 3 there. Let's do it. We have 850 firewood, 167. I basically only want charcoal, right? Let's do 2 families each. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Well, we got a full food situation now. This is great. And now look, our fish are starting to accumulate higher because we have more food types being consumed. This also decreases how much meat's being consumed. It's like every food item you can add is going to make it easier and easier for you to maintain all food varieties. And now we got this gorgeous town. Got a lot. It's going to have a pretty high pop. We're at 576 right now. I know we'll hit at least 800. I'm fairly sure. Get pretty darn close to 800. Hey, this is looking pretty sweet. I like the setup. Amazing how just not doing straight lines, but kind of like, you know, curving your lines, like taking multiple points can just make a city look a little bit more organic. Got our stone well over here. Perfect. All right, I'm going to get another well up right here, even though I know I have one right there. And let's do a well over here as well. Okay, we're in good shape. Need to keep everything going. Look at honey, 163. Make sure that there's one honey there. We just need to kind of like, when we see honey, watch it. See how, yeah, they're picking it up pretty quick. I don't think more families is going to increase any efficiency here. I think 2 is really good for this. So we should be getting close to 2 a day. That guy's taking a bit. That guy's taking a bit. Alright, they got it. But that took too long. We're going to put one more family in here. We need these things picked up so quickly. Yeah, he's a little bit of a distance. That's the problem. Not too bad of a distance, but I get rid of this apiary here. Craft a road right there. Make it a little bit faster for them to get down here. Alright. And we'll bump up the apiary right there. I just need a little bit better of a networking system for that angle. Oh, that's kind of cool. We got like a little bit of a natural road people are following over here. Alright, there we are. Put that family in, we're good to go. More tier 3 housing right here. Oh wow, we got some boards coming in. There we are. There's a lot of houses to upgrade. Maybe we won't hit 800. I thought we would, but we're getting close. Got 409 barley. 40 malt. We're selling the alcohol pretty quickly. I guess I'm going to increase one more family into the malt house. You see, I have a lot of free families. That's what I was talking about. It's like we have families that burn in these builds, so not too worried. I guess maybe we should upgrade some of these to tier 3 just for aesthetics. Down here, I'm not really sure what I want to build. Now, you could also do the third one. You could do flax and then make products from flax if you want. I don't want to. But, yeah, there's as long as you're growing a different crop, you barely lose any fertility. Okay, let's get these plots up. Alright, I think we can actually drop this down to 400. We'll see if we have any efficiencies there. Perfect. A little bit more fish in our diet, even though they're probably rotting. Ah, another bandito. Oh, fuck. They're in the city. Okay. Well, that's alright. We'll still fight them normally. There we go. Yeah, here they come. These banditos are really not a challenge. They're more of a nuisance than anything. So you just gotta shoot all of them as fast as possible. There we go. Killed almost all of them. Wow. Yeah, we're raking in the cash now. Okay. Well, that was the bandits. We almost got everything to tier 3. This is pretty impressive. Food's at 2.5 thousand. Oh, wow. Yeah, we just got our big apple haul. Honey is coming in. We're selling a bit of... We haven't started selling honey yet, actually. Let's go to the trade post. Alright, we're going to start exporting anything over 200 honey. We're going to buy a trade route. Beautiful. Alright, look at that. Yeah. Let's do anything over 400 of each of these now. And maybe let's do 300 honey. Keep a bit on hand. Not thinking anything we're going to do with eggs is going to be meaningful. Charcoal's doing great. Man, we're raking in the cash. 7,500. Grand in the bank. We're doing great. Got a tier 3 house down here. Got 12 more spaces for families to move in. Everyone's really happy, 90%. We can start increasing taxes here in a moment. What I like to do is get everyone moved in, and then you just jack up the taxes, keep them hovering around 50%, and everything's golden. 87 malt. So here's kind of a problem. We have 160 barley. Alright, yeah, we do not need that one family in the malt house. We'll pull him out. We got a lot of free families. I'm just going to start throwing them into the farmhouse just to make sure we're getting everything. And fuel is now booming. Just rocketing. 440 coal. Alright, well, we're putting 3 people in here. And we're doing a good number on this place over here. But eventually we're going to get all caught up. 25 and 49. Yeah, we're in good shape. We're in good shape. We're on the last tier over here of tier 3s. I think I'm going to start putting multiple families into the forester huts because I got to do something with these people, and it doesn't feel like we're keeping up speed right now. Here we go. Let's get the foresters going over here. Families there. Looking perfect. Families. Oh yeah, 621. Yeah, we're going to hit 7 at least. 700's a good number, right? Look how much items we have for sale. It's crazy. Alright, let's upgrade these last plots up here. So we just need a little bit more boards to finish off this last wave, and we got everything to tier 3. I'm going to leave these gents down here, the cobbler and blacksmith at tier 2. And the joiner and all that. They don't all need to be tier 3. I actually need to set a radius down here because he's getting close to the animals over there. Well, yeah, look at that. We didn't even have enough families to fish at all. Crazy. There we go. We're doing it. Over 2,000 food now. Alright, let's do one last hurrah, right? We just need a bunch of wood right now, so let's just get everyone over here cutting. Look how many hawks we got moving. It's freaking crazy. I like watching the networking systems. Alright, last line over here. Oh, so close. 36 more boards and we're there. 1. Okay, we're getting real close. It is a lot of flour. Are these ovens at full capacity? Let's boot them all up to full capacity. Also make sure they have fuel stockpiles inside of them. There we go. That's beautiful right there. Okay, we got our planks. The last 2 houses. Boom, boom. Okay. I'm going to leave all the workers that we have down there making boards, but we can definitely pull back substantially over here. I'm going to pull back to 1 in each. I'm going to pull back to 1 over here. And we'll pull 1 over here. That should all balance out now. Perfect. See the circles that we've cut out. That's great, though. Oh, dang, dude. We cannot keep up. Alright. Let's put 2 more families over here. Got 9 free families, and we got 16 more moving in. So there we are. We did it. We got all the houses up to tier 3. I'm producing far more bread than I need, but we will sell most of it. We're selling an insane amount of honey now, I think, too. We're at 8,000. Let's take a peek. Let's see what we're selling, right? So let's look at the previous year, or the current year. Look, the current year we made 2245, imported, looks like a little bit of iron. That's not bad. A lot of money made from booze, bread, a little bit from honey, good chunk from bows, and coal. You can see that the importing of clay for the clay tiles was pretty substantial, but it's interesting to see that apples is almost on par with the bows. That's actually kind of interesting. Let's look at the previous year. So 1,000 in bread, 1,000 in apples, almost 985 in bows. It's actually really interesting. Barely in veggies, a little bit in coal, and a lot of my money is coming from selling alcohol. A lot of my money. That is insane. So all time, we can see that alcohol has been the primary market driver. Now, we started selling bows before a lot of other things. This is a bit skewed. Bread's doing pretty decent. Coal, we just started. Like, we literally just started selling coal. So, coal typically tends to be one of the better items to trade. We got a lot of free families. I'm not sure what to do with all this. I'm just going to throw one more family in the granary here just because I can. Okay. Let's put 3 families over in this one. Already got 3 over here. These guys are maxed out. This guy's maxed out. 2 down here is maxed out. We're still not able to keep up with the fish. This is pretty awesome. 89%. Alright, taxes need to be around 10% now. Look at that. 93 planks, 25 timber. We're gonna start selling more bows now too, because we have more planks. And it does look like we need 1 more granary market stall. That's fine. Alright, we're gonna put another granary over here. Just because we can, not because we need to. But we do need a few more market stalls. Okay, and that's what's kind of cool about the design like that, is you have the capacity to do more if you want. Now, for this granary, I think it's going to just be market stall granary, and I'm just going to let pretty much anything go in here except for probably alcohol. I don't really care what they do. I'm just going to mass market stalls. It's actually kind of nice to have someone that just kind of moves things around, right? Okay, finally, the Lord is attacking me. My God. It took him forever to get the balls. So, we are going to sally forth here. We're also going to hire a mercenary, because we can. Get them out here. Alright, granary is up. And put 3 workers in there. Go to advance. Actually, when we upgrade this, I think it's going to undo a lot of this. We're going to say all foods. Just every single food in the game can be stored here. And upgrade that to a large. And then let's fight this battle. Where's the battle taking place? Oof, we gotta go forward. I hate when they do this. When they put the battle location in an area that is not the place that's being attacked. Ridiculous. But we will do it. Alright, here he comes. He's coming from my territory, which is super annoying. We need to hit this battlefield so that it procs the actual combat. Alright, and this is where we're going to meet them. Alright, the battle is beginning. Which means they are very close. They're probably in the bushes. Here they come. Alright. Got my mercenary units in place. And there they are coming over that hill on the horizon. Oh, they're about to witness pain. I always love it when the retinue get the brunt of the damage because they are the toughest unit. Clouds are coming with them. Alright, broke their retinue. They're going to try to get me. I'm going to use the mercenaries as a shield. There we go. Very easy, but very easy. He stood no chance against 4 crossbowmen. Alright, let's get everyone out. Let's get rid of the mercenaries. There we are. We did it. Got 15 people who need to move in. That's a lot of free families. But that's where we're going to end this, because at this point we've done it. We did it all. Look how much food we have. Same amount of food. Same amount of fuel, firewood. Our economy is through the roof. We could tax our way more than we want to. But yeah, this is a cool build. I thought about doing this before. Just having centralized, you know, granaries in these areas and just centralizing granaries. What's really cool about the system of the new market stall mechanics is you can do some really, really awesome builds now. So you can definitely hyper-focus your industries in certain areas, which is something that you couldn't do before. And I'm confident as they keep expanding the game, we're going to have more and more features which make this even easier and easier to do. Thank you guys for watching. Special shout out to all my patrons and members. Everyone else, have a good rest of your day.